Pi network is entering one of its most important phases, a phase where theory begins turning into practice and digital vision starts transforming into real everyday use. For years, the conversation around Pi network has focused on mining, KYC, mainnet, and ecosystem building, but something powerful has been unfolding quietly in the background. Real merchants, real businesses, real service providers, and real people are beginning to use Pi as a form of payment. This is no longer just an idea or a promise. It is becoming a growing movement rooted in practical value. While the world of cryptocurrency often chases excitement in price bumps, exchange listing, speculation, the real evolution might not be in the price at all, but in the way a currency is used by everyday people. And Pi Network seems to be positioning itself exactly in that direction. When we talk about Pi Network, we are not talking about typical crypto project launched by investors, controlled by miners with the expensive machines, or driven by trading speculation. Pi is built on a very different foundation: accessibility, inclusivity, and real-world usability. It starts from a mobile phone. Anyone with a smartphone can mine. No expensive machines, no technical background needed, no barrier preventing someone from participating. This design attracted millions of people, not because of hype, but because Pi offered something many cryptocurrencies failed to provide: equal access. With over 60 million pioneers and counting, Pi Network has quietly built one of the world's largest digital communities before even launching on the open market. And now, the conversation is shifting from what Pi could become in the future to how Pi is already being used today. In different parts of the world, something interesting has started happening. Small businesses, local vendors, and digital service providers have begun accepting Pi as payment. These early adopters are not multinational corporations or huge brands. They are normal merchants, cafe owners, barbers, tailors, designers, digital marketers, food vendors, electronic shops, and online freelancers. They are people who believe in the Pi community and see the potential of tapping into a customer base of millions who hold Pi and are eager to use it. In countries across Africa, Asia, Europe, and Latin America, merchants are creating small local marketplaces where Pi is being exchanged for real goods and real services. These are not simulations or test transactions. They are real deals. A cafe might accept Pi for coffee. A clothing shop might allow Pi payments for shirts or shoes. A freelancer design might take Pi for a logo project. Even local farmers in some regions have accepted Pi for vegetables, fruit, or farm produce. The forms of payment are simple: a QR code, a Pi wallet transfer, or Pi browser transactions. This ease of use gives merchants the confidence that Pi can be integrated into their operations without needing new machines or complicated systems. One of the most surprising aspects of this adoption is the motivation of these businesses. Many merchants are pioneer members themselves, which means they understand the long-term vision of Pi Network. Others are not pioneers at all, but choose to accept Pi because they see an opportunity to attract customers and stand out from their competitors. In some regions, a shop that accepts Pi becomes instantly popular because the local Pi community supports it. This becomes a marketing power of its own. Instead of spending money on advertising, a merchant can simply accept Pi and gain attention from thousands of people eager to support Pi-friendly businesses. It is a win-win situation. The merchant gets customers and pioneers get a place to use their Pi in real life. As this ecosystem grows, it becomes clear that Pi's merchant adoption is not staying local. With millions of pioneers in over 230 countries and regions, the potential for a global economy built around Pi is enormous. Every time a new merchant accepts Pi, the network becomes more useful. Every time a pioneer spends it, the currency gains real value. Utility is what transforms a digital token into real money, and Pi is gradually building exactly that. We are now seeing different types of businesses embracing Pi: cafes, retail shops, service providers, online sellers, car mechanics, beauty salons, restaurants, hotels, and even educational tutors. Some accept Pi fully, others do hybrid payments where part of the payment is in Pi and part in cash. This diversification shows that Pi is not limited to one sector. It can weave itself into any part of the economy. The more the ecosystem grows, the stronger Pi's foundation becomes. And the stronger the foundation, the more variable the currency becomes over time. For merchants, accepting Pi comes with several benefits that traditional payments cannot easily offer. First, the transaction fees are extremely low, sometimes close to zero, which means the merchant keeps more profit. Second, there is no risk of chargebacks like those that happen with the credit cards. Once Pi transaction is confirmed, it cannot be reversed. Third, merchants get access to an entirely new customer section. Millions of pioneers who are loyal, engaged, and motivated to support businesses that believe in Pi Network. Fourth, accepting Pi becomes a powerful marketing tool, attracting attention, social media buzz, and community support. Many merchants have reported increased foot traffic simply by accepting Pi. For customers, the benefits are equally strong. They can finally use the Pi they have been mining for years. This transforms Pi from a digital number on a screen into something with real utility. Consumers may also enjoy discounts or special offers when paying the Pi because the merchants wants to encourage digital spending. Pi payments are fast, simple, and secure, making them ideal for small and medium transactions. And because Pi is designed to be energy efficient and user-friendly, using it requires no extra cost. Many pioneers feel empowered because they are able to participate in a digital economy even if they do not have access to traditional banking services. Pi is bridging the gap between people and financial technology. But like any growing system, there are challenges. Regulations remain unclear in many countries, and governments still struggle to understand how to handle digital assets. Some merchants want to accept Pi but hesitate because they are unsure about future crypto policies. Another challenge is scalability. Pi is still working through KYC and mainnet migration for millions of users, and full open network functionality is not yet active. Awareness is also a challenge. Many potential merchants simply do not know enough about Pi network to accept it confidently. However, the Pi community has been stepping in strongly to fill this gap. Pioneers organize merchant outreach programs, training sessions, demonstration videos, and local meetups to help businesses understand how Pi transactions work. This community approach is one of Pi's greatest strengths, showing that adoption is not coming from the top, but from the people. Looking into the future, Pi's merchant adoption could play a major role in defining how digital currency is used in daily life. If merchants continue to join the ecosystem even before Open Mainnet is fully activated, imagine what will happen once Pi becomes tradable, scalable, and globally recognized. Local shops could become part of a world digital marketplace. Service providers could accept Pi from customers in different countries. International communities could buy, exchange, and trade services without traditional bank barriers. Pi could become one of the few cryptocurrencies that people actually use, not just store or speculate on. And this shift from speculation to real utility is what will determine Pi's long-term success. Pi Network is not trying to replace banks or compete with financial institutions. Instead, it is building an alternative path for participation in the digital economy, a path built by people and for the people, a path where value is created through use, not through hype. And merchant adoption is one of the clearest signs that Pi is moving closer to becoming a real currency for everyday life. As more businesses begin accepting Pi and as more pioneers start spending it, the future of Pi becomes more solid, more practical, and more promising. The movement is already happening. The world is just beginning to notice it.